Hello, good morning. We begin with breaking news. Convicted murderer Levi Bellfield has admitted in a letter to the murders of mother and daughter Lin and Megan Russell 26 years ago in what's being described as a full and frank confession. Mr. Bellfield is currently serving a life sentence for the murder of schoolgirl Millie Dowler and 2 other women. Well, our crime correspondent Martin Brunt joins me now. So, Martin, how significant then is this letter? How does it change things as it stands?
It's a huge development. If, like many of us who covered both Michael Stone's trials, if you believe that he probably wasn't the killer, then Levi Bellfield is a very good candidate and has long been a suspect. He knew the area. The nature of the attacks on the Russells fits a pattern of his other attacks. Bear in mind that he is a serial killer. He's serving life for 3 murders and other attacks during which he used a hammer. And what's always struck me is that he bears a remarkable resemblance to the photo fit of a suspect that was put out 26 years ago after the Russell's murder. Now, I've spoken this morning to Michael Stone's solicitor, Paul Bacon, who for 15 years has been trying to prove Michael Stone's innocence. He says, firstly, he has this alleged confession from Bellfield. He believes it's genuine. He won't say how he came by it, but he describes it as a full and frank confession, and he really believes that if the police now go and interview Bellfield about what he's written in this statement, then Mr. Bacon believes that Bellfield will admit to the killings. Michael Stone was twice convicted and has always denied killing the Russells. Now, there's some chilling details in this statement that Bellfield's alleged to have written. And I think the feeling is that some of those details are the kind of details that would only be known to the killer. This is something of what Bellfield has written in this statement. I was wearing bright yellow marigold washing up gloves and holding a hammer in my right hand. In my car, I had a screwdriver, a lock knife, a hammer, yellow marigold gloves, and a very long black bootlace. My first intention was to just attack Lin, but I quickly changed my mind due to the screams and was worried she would fight back given the children were with her. Now, I recall from Michael Stone's 2 trials, he was convicted, then the conviction was quashed, and then he was reconvicted. The evidence was always very, very thin. There was no forensic evidence for a start. And in court, Stone, who was a heroin user or addict, struck a pretty pitiful character. I can't even remember whether he actually gave evidence in his own defence. He might not have done. But the kind of evidence that the prosecution put forward was that they found, for instance, a shoelace with knots in it. And the prosecution case went a bit like this. Well, Michael Stone is a heroin user. Heroin users use shoelaces with knots in to tie around their arms to give them a vein to inject into. So that means that that's powerful evidence against Michael Stone. It was really much along those kind of lines. What's happening now is Paul Bacon will send this statement to the police, but also to the Criminal Cases Review Commission, which is already considering an application from Michael Stone. Stone is 61. He's appealed to the CCRC once before, but had his application rejected. The CCRC is now considering a second one. So this, you'd have thought, on the face of it, will be more powerful evidence in Michael Stone's defence. But crucially, Paul Bacon, Michael Stone's solicitor, really believes, he told me, that if the police were now to interview Bellfield, Mr. Bacon feels that he will finally admit to the Russell murders.